Michael Jordan didn't simply want to win. He wanted to dominate. For years, basketball fans watched him fly through the air, hit impossible shots, win championships, and become one of the most famous athletes on earth. But behind the championships, the number 23 jersey, and the smile in the commercials was another Michael Jordan. A man so competitive that losing could stay with him for years. A man who pushed teammates relentlessly. A man who could turn the smallest insult into motivation. And according to people who played beside him, sometimes practicing against, Michael Jordan could feel almost as difficult as playing against him in a real game. So what created that mentality? And what did Michael Jordan have to become in order to reach the top? Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York, in 1963 and raised in North Carolina. Long before the world called him the greatest, Jordan experienced something that would become one of the most repeated stories of his life. As a teenager, he did not make the varsity basketball team at Laney High School. That story is sometimes simplified into Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team, but the reality is that as a younger student, he was placed on junior, varsity rather than varsity. For Jordan, however, the disappointment mattered. He worked, he grew, and he came back better. That pattern would follow him for the rest of his career. Failure didn't seem to discourage Michael Jordan. It gave him something to attack. Then came the University of North Carolina. In 1982, as a freshman, Jordan hit the winning shot in the NCAA championship game against Georgetown. He was still young, but suddenly people were beginning to see something different. 2 years later, the Chicago Bulls selected Michael Jordan with the third pick of the 1984 NBA draft. And almost immediately, basketball changed. Jordan was explosive, fast, fearless, and when he attacked the basket, it sometimes looked as though gravity worked differently for him. The nickname Air Jordan wasn't just marketing. It matched what people were seeing. He could rise above defenders, hang in the air, switch hands, finish at impossible angles. And he didn't seem afraid of anybody. But individual brilliance was only part of the story. Early in Jordan's career, the Chicago Bulls kept running into one major obstacle: the Detroit Pistons. Detroit had developed an extremely physical strategy against Jordan. They hit him, they crowded him, they made him work for everything. And for several seasons, Chicago couldn't get past them. Michael Jordan had incredible statistics, but he didn't yet have a championship. For someone as competitive as Jordan, that mattered. So he got stronger, the Bulls improved, and eventually, the wall came down. In 1991, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls finally won the NBA championship. Then they won again, and again, 3 straight championships. Jordan wasn't just becoming the best player in basketball. He was becoming the face of the sport around the world. His shoes became a phenomenon. His commercials became part of popular culture. Children wanted to wear number 23. Everyone wanted to be like Mike. But then something happened that nobody expected. In 1993, Michael Jordan walked away from basketball. He was only 30. His father, James Jordan, had been murdered earlier that year. Jordan later announced that he had lost the desire to continue playing basketball. Then he shocked the sports world again. He decided to pursue baseball. The greatest basketball player on earth suddenly found himself riding buses through the minor leagues, trying to learn an entirely different professional sport. And many people questioned him. Some laughed. Some wondered whether his basketball career was finished. Then, in March 1995, a message appeared. It contained only 2 words: "I'm back." Michael Jordan returned to the Chicago Bulls. But returning wasn't enough. He wanted the throne again. The following season, Chicago won 72 regular season games, then an NBA record. Jordan won another championship, then another, and another. By 1998, Michael Jordan had led the Bulls to 6 NBA championships, 6 finals appearances, 6 victories, no finals losses. And yet, the championships only tell part of the story, because The Last Dance introduced many younger viewers to another side of Michael Jordan. His practices could be intense. He challenged teammates. He argued. He talked trash. He demanded more. For Jordan, practice wasn't always preparation for competition. Practice was competition. If someone challenged him, he wanted to beat them. If someone talked about him, he remembered it. If he felt disrespected, he could transform that disrespect into fuel. Sometimes the motivation was real. Sometimes Jordan seemed perfectly capable of creating motivation for himself. A comment, a newspaper story, an opponent laughing, a coach choosing someone else. Anything could become personal. And once Michael Jordan made something personal, the other person had a problem. But this mentality raises an interesting question. Was Michael Jordan great because he was ruthless? Or was he ruthless because greatness demanded it? Some teammates respected the pressure. Others didn't always enjoy it. Former Bulls players have publicly discussed how demanding Jordan could be, and that tension became one of the major talking points surrounding The Last Dance years later. He believed leadership meant pushing people to reach a standard, and his argument had one enormous piece of evidence behind it. They won. 6 championships changed the conversation. But Jordan's influence went far beyond trophies. He helped transform the NBA into a global entertainment product. His partnership with Nike created one of the most successful athlete brands ever built. The Air Jordan line grew far beyond basketball. Decades after his final Bulls championship, people who never watched Michael Jordan play still wear shoes carrying his name. That may be one of the clearest examples of his cultural impact. Most athletes eventually retire and slowly disappear from everyday life. Michael Jordan retired, but the Jordan name became even bigger. And then there were the moments, the dunk contests, the tongue hanging out as he attacked the basket, the championships, the flu game, the game-winning shots, the celebration with the trophy. And finally, in 1998, one of the most famous moments in basketball history, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, Chicago against Utah. The Bulls were trailing. Jordan stole the ball from Karl Malone, then came down the floor, seconds remaining. Jordan crossed over Brian Russell. He rose for the shot, and the ball went through. Chicago took the lead. That shot became the final basket Michael Jordan ever made for the Chicago Bulls. It was almost too perfect. The greatest player of his generation, ending his Bulls career with a championship-winning shot. Jordan would later return again, this time with the Washington Wizards. But when people remember Michael Jordan, they usually remember Chicago. The red jersey. Number 23, 6 championships. And that obsession with winning. Was Michael Jordan perfect? No. Was everyone around him always comfortable with the way he led? No. But perhaps that's part of why his story remains fascinating. Michael Jordan wasn't simply gifted. He was consumed by competition. He treated defeat like an insult. He remembered every challenge. And he spent years proving people wrong. Maybe that's why more than 2 decades after his final NBA game, the argument still continues. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. Who is the greatest? Statistics can be compared. Championships can be counted. Different generations can argue forever. But one thing is difficult to dispute. Michael Jordan changed basketball. He changed sports marketing. He changed sneaker culture. And he changed the standard by which basketball greatness is measured. Behind Air Jordan was a man who seemed unwilling to accept second place. And whether you admired that mentality or feared it, follow Sophia for more powerful celebrity stories.